Within 12 hours, the construction on the Trojan missiles was complete, as well as many other preparations for their new guests. So, Mika sent out the transmission, inviting Captain Friedmont Dareman, as well as an assortment of his crew members, to visit Exovol. It didn't take long for them to respond, of course, in the affirmative, and in short order, several shuttle pods had been dispatched from Friedmont's ship, and somewhere in the neighborhood of 24 of his crew members, along with himself, were aboard them, as Mika was there waiting for them when they docked, and Friedmont exited his shuttle pod. Welcome aboard, Captain Friedmont. Consider this a belated acceptance of your initial invitation to us. You see, we were frightfully busy at that point in time. We had only just started construction on our brand new recreation center and hadn't yet completed. So we didn't feel like having guests until the work was finished. But now it's all done, so I'd love to give you a personal tour of the vessel. After which, I'd like to have a private discussion with you, if that would suit your tastes, Mika said, a smile on her face, friendly and welcoming. Yeah, that sounds like fun. So, Captain Angelica, show me around. Give me the full tour. Let's leave no sight unseen, shall we? Very well, Captain Friedmont. You may follow me. The rest of your crew members will be given level 1 access, meaning that they can go to all of the open areas aboard the ship and enjoy themselves as they see fit. I've also allotted them with some ration supplies in case they feel like having something to drink or eat during their visit. I, however, have had the ship chef whip up a custom meal just for us and my command crew, and I told him to spare no expense for our new guests, so we should be in for quite the edible layout. Wow, nice personal tour from the captain, and a 5-star chef-prepared meal to boot. You wouldn't be trying to butter me up now, would you? Oh, don't be silly, Mika replied, as Friedmont stood there smiling with his arms crossed. I just wanted to alleviate some of the tensions between us. It'll be much easier to work together. If we're not at each other's throats, that is, Mika said as she stood to the side and gestured towards the exit doors to the docking bay. After you, Captain Friedmont, she said as Friedmont began to make his way towards the doors, and Mika walked alongside him, as disgusting as it was to her to do so, beginning to give him a front row tour of the starship, their first stop being the engine room. Wow, you weren't kidding. You really do have 2 quantum drives on board this ship, he said, staring at the double-layered engine room, the first and second floor, each giving a clear view of the other. One engine pronounced in the center of the room, on the floor level, whilst if you looked up from the ceiling, you could see the second level and the secondary quantum drive hanging suspended from the ceiling. The massive quantum drives, nearly 30 foot across, spherical in form, each giving off a bright glow of whirling colors, both engines humming together in unison, as Oscar approached. Hello, Captain, and I suppose this is Captain Friedmont. Welcome aboard, Captain. I hope you enjoy your stay here. My name is Oscar, and I am the engineer commander, in charge of all of the engineers on board the ship. And as you can see here, these are our dual-functioning quantum drives, which feed our ship all the power that it could ever possibly need. And then some. Wow, this sure is impressive. But where the hell did you even get 2 quantum drives? It's not exactly a cheap piece of equipment, or easy to install. I mean, hell, most ships aren't even equipped to try to run something like that. It seems kind of a waste to just have 2 quantum drives. I mean, if you were gonna use that much juice, why not just bump it up? Get yourself a Zeta drive. Why would the people who built this fucking thing go with 2 separate quantum drives to get the same juice? Well, that's a simple matter of engineering. The designers of the ship went with 2 separate drives chambers and equipped the ship with 2 quantum drives for a specific reason. It's a redundancy. Most ships have a singular drive. For the most part, this is for efficiency's sake. With only 1 engine, there's much less to manage, and you still achieve your overall needs. However, this comes at somewhat of a cost. With only 1 engine, any severe enough damage could take that engine offline, leaving your ship waylaid and lacking in power. The designers of this ship decided to avert that by giving it 2 dual engines rather than simply 1. With this, there's a heavy likelihood that if the engines are damaged, that the damage will be dispersed. Perhaps it might weigh heavily in the direction of our lower engine rather than our upper one, taking the lower engine offline. But if that were the case, our upper engine would still function. Even if both engines were damaged, it's highly probable that the damage would be dispersed enough that one of the engines would be easier to get running than the other. So in other words, we could focus our energy on that engine in order to restore power faster. Having 2 quantum drives just gives us more options and stability, instead of having 1 large engine. It's about the survivability of the ship. Well, I suppose that's one way to look at it, Friedmont said, as he stared up to the 2nd floor and the quantum drive hanging overhead. Most ships can't afford redundancies like that. I mean, it's kind of costly. I mean, how much did you even pay to put this thing together? Oh, I didn't pay anything for this ship. What? Friedmont said, looking over to Miko. This ship was what you might call a gift. You see, a very long time ago, I was captaining a ship, one far less impressive than this one. And whether it be by fate or random chance, whilst captaining that vessel, I stumbled across a member of a planet known as Baramone, specifically a vessel that was heavily damaged and under attack. I managed to ward off the attackers. However, the ship was in critical condition and about to go nuclear. Acting quickly, I managed to ferry most of the crew members off the ship, and amongst them was a member of the royal family for that world, or should I say that chain of worlds. They inhabit about 6 of them, and are a very prosperous race. They were conveying a member of the royal family in secret, but they got found out, and were attacked by an enemy consortium. After saving the member of the royal family and delivering him safely back home, they were exceptionally gracious. They had an award ceremony, even gave me a medal. And to top it all off, seeing that I was piloting a substandard ship, they decided to go ahead and gift me this one, the latest model off the line. It was originally meant to be an imperial vessel for shuttling around members of the royal family, but as they were currently making 3 of them, they decided to gift one to me, as it was simply a reserve ship. They only really needed 2, but in case of damages, they built a 3rd. A race of people that had too much resource for their own good, really. And I was more than happy to take the ship off their hands. Regardless, I believe it's time to move on. There are many other things for you to see, Captain Fremont. And we do have dinner reservations. If you do recall, Mika said, looking over to him friendly, with a warm smile. Yeah, sure. No sweat, Fremont said, as he began following Mika out of the engine room.